fantasy people? This is Tyler, Big Turd Ward, and Jason, the lucky bastard Uthenwoldt, coming at you live from my parents' house and Jason's house. And this is the Fantasy Footballin Show. Today's episode, we are going to preview the NFL Super Bowl. I don't know if you knew about this. They had a week off last week, Jason. NFL non-existent last week. Saving it all for this week, Super Bowl. And I thought I was screwed because I'm at my parents' house right now. The game doesn't start till 3:30, so I'm leaving. I have to drive home tomorrow. I thought I was going to have to listen to it on the radio, which I was kind of looking forward to. But it looks like I'm going to be able to watch the game, Jason.
Oh, so you're leaving early.
Yeah, I was going to leave late, but now that I know the game is so late, I'm going to probably leave early and I might be able to get home but before 3, so we're going to see how that goes.
What time did you think the game was going to start?
I thought it was at 1, dude. When did did they ever start it this late, or am I tripping?
No, it's been like this for a while. But I mean, you got the Super Bowl coverage starting like at noon or 1:00.
But dude, just like think about the East Coast people, like they're all like, "Oh, cooking all day," or like, dude, I couldn't handle that. Like, I need to do it's more of a daytime thing for me, the Super Bowl. So for some reason, I was very surprised that it was so late.
Yeah, and I would actually aim for like 4:00 because it says 3:30, but there's like a 30-minute introduction.
That's exactly what my dad told me. So
yeah,
today's episode is our beer time breakdown. If you did not notice, I'm not drinking as much as usual. Usually I'm like 2 deep. I'm gonna roll another 2 deep during the show, but hey, my parents are here. I'm trying to be respectful, so I'm just drinking this. Jason, you want to tell the public how they can help this show?
Yeah, you guys can help us out. We really appreciate it. Give us some support if we get some subscriptions. It looks like we got another subscription this past week. And along with those subscriptions, if you could hit that like button to get some likes and give us some comments. We love interaction with you guys. Also, right here in this corner, I'm gonna put a little symbol that says the Instagram, the Fantasy Footballin Show. If you guys want some additional content like Tyler's loose rankings.
Yeah, and so somebody saw those and I said, "Where's Darren Waller?" And yeah, I did these at work. I wasn't even looking at anything, so I forgot some players. But at the same time, my argument to that was the last 3 people that drafted Darren Waller the last 3 years. Darren Waller is on each of those people's do not draft list. So like, I don't know, dude. I'm not drafting Darren Waller anytime in the future.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you're absolutely right. I had to leave the comment on it, and because the part of the reason why he's on that do not draft list is because that dude cannot stay healthy. Unfortunately, like he's a great athletic tight end. He's good at what he does, but he's also very injury prone. Like he's one of those high risk, high rewards. Like you could probably get him pretty late. I would try to get him late and then just hope that he plays the whole season. If he plays the whole season, he's going to do well. But if we're just going off of stats and going off of patterns, people will probably get him in like the earlier rounds, but he'll only give you half the season, like 6 games. So I'm still okay like putting him outside of the 15 ranking, and maybe you get him as a number 2 tight end and just hope that he plays for the whole season.
Oh man, can you hear me? My microphone was so far away. Could you hear me?
Oh my gosh, she sounds so much better.
I'm all drinking and like I didn't. Oh my god.
I was like, is there any way that we could make Tyler sound better? Because
do you want to redo the show or no?
No. You're fine. You're fine. It was just echoes. Like I could hear you. I was able to hear you. It was echoes.
Oh crap. I'm sorry, dude.
No, you're fine. You're fine. I'm glad
Guess what, people? It's not gonna happen again. I'm gonna hold this damn thing the whole time. So yeah, believe it or not, my workspace is my dad's bed, and there's not a lot of space. It's like Michael Scott's bed.
Michael Scott.
Yeah. So I had this way back there because I had nowhere to put it.
It's
okay though.
It's like it's all right. It's like I go on a timeout.
So Jason,
yeah,
both these teams 14-3 going into the playoffs. I think Kansas City and the Eagles both had a bye. So they both still have the same records. Do you want to get into your rankings?
Yeah, so I don't know, I can't remember if you already just kind of described what we're going to do. We're just going to kind of talk about like a preview of what we think and predictions of like stats of the players and the outcomes of the games. That's what we're going to do for this episode. Before we start all that, it's just like I want people to realize, when it comes to, we're kind of doing this in the fantasy aspect, so it's like we're going to be kind of talking mostly about the offensive side of the teams. But what comes very important to that, especially during a season, what people always want to think about is like what the offense is going against their defense. The defense, correct? I don't know why I said correct, but yeah.
You are correct.
I'm already like to that point where it was like, dude, I could talk all night.
Well, you're probably like, man, am I drunk or is Tyler's like microphone super far away?
Yeah, I was like tapping my headpiece. I was like, what?
I'm so sorry,
I'm
people.
like messing with like my soundboard over here. I was like NASA. I was like, beep, 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 beep.
That was the most important part of the episode, but we're gonna get all of our subscribers next season, preseason.
Yeah. You're
Tell your friends.
So I'll go off with my little my stats that I was able to find. And first off, I want to go with the defense for the passing, right? So the Eagles, I think these four categories I'm going to go over are very important in the Super Bowl game, right? So the Eagles, they're the number one passing defense when it comes to yards, right? They only allow 171 yards a game. They're number 9 in quarterback attempts against that defense. So the quarterbacks usually face are doing 31.6 attempts per game. Eagles are 9th in completions allowed a game with a 19.8. And then Eagles are number 6 with allowing 1.2 touchdowns via passing per game. And then on the other side, the Chiefs are the worst when it comes to passing touchdowns allowed. They're 1.8. So that's they allow almost 2 touchdowns a game. Chiefs are the 29th in allowing completions with 24.1. And the Chiefs are 30th with 36.8 passing. Like people normally throw the ball against the Chiefs. I think that's probably because they're playing catch up most of the time. They have to abandon the run. And then Chiefs are also 19th in allowing 221 passing yards a game. So right now it looks like the Eagles pass defense is better than the Chiefs pass defense.
For sure. I do want to say that the Chiefs, that guy that was injured, he's back. Yeah, Shaheed or whatever his name is. He's no injury reservations for him. So I think that's huge because, man, like if they didn't have him, I think that's probably the most important thing for them. Because Frank Clark and Chris Jones have been healthy for a while. They're going to get pressure on Jalen Hurts, hopefully. But yeah, dude. Awesome.
Yeah. So with that being said, there's another aspect to the game, and it's the running game. So after I do that, I'm good with that. Eagles are the 15th in allowing 119.3 rushing yards a game. Eagles are ranked 9th for 25 attempts allowed, so people will run the ball at least 25 times against the Eagles defense. The Eagles are the 24th by allowing 4.6 yards per attempt. And the Eagles are 19th and because they allow, 0.9 yard touchdown or 0.9 rushing touchdowns a game. So almost 1 touchdown a game. Every now and then it's like, every now and then they won't allow a rushing touchdown. And then the Chiefs are number 8 with allowing 107.3 yards allowed a game rushing. The Chiefs are number 3 because you only rush the ball 23.9 times against them. Like I said, I think that's when people are abandoning the run, going straight to throwing.
So you're saying the Chiefs are number 3 rushing attempts versus? So like people don't run against the Chiefs?
Yeah, like people don't run against the Chiefs.
It's counterintuitive, I thought.
And then the Chiefs are ranked 19, where they give up 4.5 yards per attempt. And then the Chiefs are number 6, for only allowing 0.6 rushing touchdowns a game.
Yeah, dude. So the one thing that stood out to me a lot is, do you think that the Kansas City Chiefs will, rush 25 times against the Eagles on Sunday?
I mean, I was actually surprised to even see that number. One thing that, I want to throw into that stat is that I think they also put in like quarterback rushing, right? So like Jalen Hurts obviously is a running quarterback. He's going to run the ball. Patrick Mahomes is amazing when he's scrambling, right? Those are like usually run plays. That's the average, Are they going to throw? Are they going to run the ball? What did I say? 25 attempts. With my prediction, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to run the ball 25 times. I think they're the team that's going to. They're going to be the team that's going to be playing catch up. That's just the Chiefs.
So you think the Chiefs are going to be playing catch up to
the Eagles?
I don't think it matters. I think even if the Chiefs were up by 2 touchdowns, it doesn't matter. There's no way they're going to get over 20 rushes per game, let alone 25. So, and then plus, yeah, and the Eagles have been pretty good against the run lately. I mean, I think they're allowing like 100 yards per game or something like that, and the Chiefs were allowing 107 or something like that. But you're right about the interesting thing is that Jalen Hurts has not had to throw at all, and now the Chiefs allow so much pass. They allow all their like 200 and something passing yards per game. Is Jalen Hurts going to be able to take advantage of that? Or are they going to have to be, running the ball, doing screens and all that type of stuff? Because Jalen Hurts does not look good throwing the ball downfield since he got injured.
Yeah, so I'm glad that you also brought that up. When we actually go to the quarterback predictions, I got some average stats throughout the year I'm going to throw out for like attempts and yards and
all right, cool,
all that stuff. But one of the things I wanted to put in here, because we both have mentioned numerous times that it's hard to get a running back from the Chiefs because Patrick Mahomes just like throws the ball all the time. Is that the Eagles? They're number 9 in giving up completions, right? So I mean, Patrick Mahomes can have all these attempts, but the Eagles are great. They have a great secondary. They have a great secondary, and they could really make it difficult for Patrick Mahomes to complete a pass. Because the Eagles are number 9th, only giving up 198 or 19.8 completions a game. That's under 20 completions. So it's like quarterbacks, when they play against the Eagles, they normally don't even complete 20 pass attempts or completions, whatever.
Jason, who do I look like?
Michael Scott. Oh, I don't know.
Predator.
Oh, yeah.
Sorry.
You should have been like.
Sorry, guys. And I got this microphone in my hands. It's hard not to mess with it. So yeah, Jason, I think everything that you're saying like makes total sense. And dude, so what do you want to go into next? Because I kind of want to go over like the over under, like the amount of points that Las Vegas projects to this team, both these teams to get, and then we can go from there with the rankings. What do you think about that?
Yeah, just let me.
Oh, keep on going, dude. Keep on going.
No, just let me just say one more thing. And it was just like, I was actually pretty surprised with the yards per attempt that the Eagles give up, 4.6. I did not think it was that high. So, they went out and got like, players to put on that defensive line like Sue, but they're still giving up 4.6 yards per carry. That's pretty high. That's 24th in the league. So I think it's kind of just like the Chiefs, where even though you could run against this team, you're playing catch up and you kind of abandon the run to try to, keep up the Eagles. So I think they both have that going. So
yeah, they picked up what Sue, Lindell Joseph, who is an amazing Pro Bowler for the Vikings. You know, my Vikings. I say my Vikings like I own them. Maybe someday. Once this channel blows up.
Yeah.
Hey, if you want to help the Vikings make a huge turnaround, dude, just subscribe to this channel, man. Because I would invest all the money I have into that.
That would be the coolest thing. I would hope that you would sign me. I just want to be the water boy.
Man, I would make you grow out your goatee and make you the Viking on a motorcycle.
Driving a motorcycle. Don't they have a huge old like? Oh, they
yeah, they've got a huge drum. They've got a horn, and then they have a dude that pulls up on a motorcycle too. So,
all right, I'll be that dude. I'll be like,
Valhalla.
All right, go into your stuff, Tyler.
All right, so we're looking at this. Vegas thinks that there's going to be 51 points in this game, and the difference, dude. What are you thinking? Except doing this. Vegas thinks there's going to be 51 points scored this game.
You're like Vegas thinks 51 points are going to be scored.
I'm telling you, dude, it's so much better when I have this, like, when I can put this down on the table.
Can you put it on your lap?
But it's so far down. How can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Just don't let the microphone peek up a little bit. People might think that's a little something else.
Oh, like this? How much do you like the Vikings? Sorry, people. All right. Anyways, so Las Vegas is going to be 51 points in this game. Like, what is that? 25-26. Something like that.
Over.
And both these teams, averaging. What's crazy, Jason? Both these teams are averaging the same amount of points per game: 28.7, 28.7. That is the top of the league, dude. Over the last three, Philadelphia has averaged more, but man, look at the competition they've been going against. I mean, San Francisco didn't even have a team in the second half, and the Giants were just god awful in the playoffs. I do like the Giants, but not in playoff football yet. And so that's why it's so skewed right there. But dude, I just thought it was interesting that, both these teams have the same exact record. Both these teams have the same exact to the 10th of points scored, 28.7 points scored. And, I do believe in the Eagles have a much better roster. Like if Patrick Mahomes was on the Eagles, they'd be undefeated, And I really do like Jalen Hurts. But with his injury, I'm concerned. So anyways, I think if I read this right, the Chiefs are getting 1.5 points. So that's making the Eagles actually, projected to win. So that's where the money's going right now. The money's going towards the Eagles. But, if you know anything about Patrick Mahomes, I think he has not lost a game by more than 3 points in the playoffs yet or something like that. Nick Wright was on the Colin Cowherd talking about this, and it was some amazing stat like that. I mean, I'm drinking right now, but if I could find that stat, that'd be amazing. But I'm telling you, dude, like Patrick Mahomes makes every single game a tight game. So it doesn't matter. So so if I'm betting, Jason, what do you think about the line 51 over and under?
I think it's going to be over than that.
I would bet on the over.
I would definitely bet on the over. So both these offenses are pretty powerful, right? Eagles, from the stats, they have, I think as a team, they even led the league in sacks, right?
I think they did, yeah.
Yeah. I think there was like multiple players on that defensive line that had over 10 sacks.
Son Reddick, sorry, I just heard this. It was like Son Reddick 16, and then it was 11 and 11 from two other people.
Yeah.
So, dude, and they traded for Quinn. I'm sure Quinn was probably one of them. I can't remember.
Yeah, what was I going with that? Oh, so I think, but the thing is, Patrick Mahomes, 2022 MVP, right? This guy has been playing with not a lot of help as a wide receiver and as a wide receiver core, and he's doing the damn thing, right? He's still putting up 5,000 yards passing and 41 touchdowns. Patrick Mahomes he's at the greatest right now. Right now, he's the greatest quarterback there is. For the season, right? It's like, I know Tom Brady just retired, but I'm not trying to get a little too crazy. He's the best player in the league right now because of Patrick Mahomes and his ability to do whatever he wants on that field. He will definitely keep it close, even with the Eagles defense. So yeah, I think the Eagles are going to try to run the ball as much as they can to keep it out of Mahomes' hands. But then, once Mahomes gets the ball, he's going to do his thing. And I definitely believe it's going to be more. It could be like 28-31, something like that. 35-32, 35-30.
Well, the most crucial stat, Jason, because you just said about they're going to run the ball a lot against Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes has only lost 3 games in the playoffs in his entire career. And what is the common denominator in those games? He lost the time of possession in those games. And so if you're Nick Sirianni or, whoever is on the Eagles game planning, I'm sure there's going to be so many Jalen Hurts runs, dude. I guarantee it. And they're going to be running the ball, and they're going to be playing keep away from Patrick Mahomes. And that's the way that you have to play against him. So I like what you said about, they're going to be running the ball so much, dude. I would not mind starting Miles Sanders and Jalen Hurts on the same fantasy football team.
Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady. Obviously, there's no really question about it. What did people normally do when they were going up against a Tom Brady or Peyton Manning? You try to keep the ball out of their hands. And what you would do, you try to run the ball and control the clock. You try to keep that possession. And that's the only way you're really going to beat this guy, right? You got to keep it out of Patrick Mahomes' hands.
I want to say something, Jason.
And you know what? You got something to say, and I want you to say it. I want you to say it with your chest. Say it loud. Say it proud.
I'm going to just whisper it slightly because that's the way I want to do it. I'm kidding. No. So you say Patrick Mahomes is the new Tom Brady? Guess what? In reality, like, it's actually a pretty it's an acceptable conversation now. He's the new Aaron Rodgers. How many Super Bowls does Aaron Rodgers have? 2 or 1?
1.
So he's got 1, and he's known as the most talented quarterback to ever play, right? I mean, him and Dan Marino pretty much, or John Elway maybe. But now Patrick Mahomes, dude, is like the most talented. He's already taken this mantle of the most talented quarterback that we've ever seen, as far as, all the gifts that he has. So like, he's already kind of taken that place. So it's like that was kind of a thing that Aaron Rodgers really had for a long time. And if he wins this Super Bowl, I think that people are going to start talking about him and Tom Brady in the same sentence, which is kind of crazy.
I know. You know what? That's just what people do. That's what experts do. That's what fans do. I think even if he doesn't win this game, I still think overall he's going to be better than Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers has been to 1 Super Bowl. Patrick Mahomes has been to 3 out of the last 4. I think that's what the stat is.
I thought it was like 5 AFC conference championships in a row. I don't know if that's true, because I feel like he hasn't been in the league 5 years, but maybe he has.
No, I think that might be true. I know he lost to the Bengals the last year. He made it to the Super Bowl and beat the Niners. I think he lost to I don't know. I can't quite remember. Who did the
Bucks better memory
play?
than I do.
Who did the Bucks play in the Super Bowl?
So the Bucks played. He lost to the Bucks, and this is kind of reminiscent to that because of the pressure and the sacks that the Eagles put on. But this is also the best offensive line that Kansas City's had.
Well, the Bucks. So they lost to the Bucks in the Super Bowl?
No, because they're in the same division. They're in the AFC.
They did. Tom Brady beat Patrick Mahomes. That's right.
Oh wait, no, the Bucks are in the NFC, huh?
Yeah. So,
I don't know anything about the Bucks, so there you go.
Well, no. You're right. Apparently, you know everything because you're right. Yeah. I mean, look what's going down with Patrick Mahomes. Like, he's already done more than what Aaron Rodgers has done, and Aaron Rodgers has been in the league twice as long, and that dude's been in so long. He's probably got all his diseases up in his head because he's trying to go into like dark rooms and activate his DMT so he can hallucinate. if he should play again or play with the Raiders or retire. I think even if he doesn't win the Super Bowl, I think he's going to be better.
No, dude. No, I would rather have Patrick Mahomes over Aaron Rodgers any day. Tom Brady's going to be the greatest winner of all time for a while, but I think Patrick Mahomes could overtake that. I wish Joe Burrow would overtake that, but whatever. I do want to say, Jason, that so we're talking about, how many points are going to be scored. And I want to say that like Las Vegas is looking at this like maybe, Philadelphia is number one over the last 3. They've only allowed 10 points per game, but I went over the teams that they just played. It's ridiculous, like I don't even take that into account. But Kansas City is allowed. They're number like 6, dude, over the last 3. Their defense has been balling out, playoffs and the last game of the season, I guess. But they've allowed, 17.7 points per game. So Vegas is probably looking at this like both these defenses had been playing really exceptional. So maybe that's going to, keep the game a low scoring. But I just think that it doesn't matter who you play against Patrick Mahomes, dude. Like, it doesn't matter. I mean, it mattered in the Super Bowl against Tom Brady. I would like to know, do you remember what the score was, Jason? Like, did he lose bad?
No, I don't think it was too bad. But I think the difference with that game was that the Buccaneers defensive line was able to put pressure on Mahomes to just make him scramble like the entire time. And you know who was on the Buccaneers squad when on that defensive line was Sue.
Yeah, dude, you're totally right, man.
So he already kind of knows what you need to do to get that.
Dude, how has nobody talked about that, Jason? That's such a good point.
Yeah.
That's a really good point.
And then they played earlier in the year and the Chiefs won, but the Buccaneers defense was really good that year, and it's always hard to beat a team twice. So I think they just kind of like learn from their mistakes. But what it is like I know Patrick Mahomes, he's great at scrambling. That dude is a wizard when he scrambles. But if you're scrambling every play, you're not going to make it. You're not going to do well. You're not going to make it the completions. You're not going to make that magic as if you were, scrambling like every like 4 or 5 plays. If you're doing it just or like that's kind of still kind of a little scrambling like every like 10 to 15 plays. But if you're doing it like every 4 to 5 plays, like that makes a huge difference. Like Tyler, you always talk about you and Chris Long and Andrew Whitworth. Like it's all about the defensive line. And I think this is going to be a battle of the trenches. And I just see the upper side being the Eagles.
I think I told you, dude. I can't remember who it was. I can't remember who it was. It might have been Chris Long, but they were saying this is the greatest defensive line, like maybe of all time, like in the Super Bowl. As far as like guys with the depth that they have, man, they could Brandon Graham, Sue, Lindell Joseph, Quinn, and Hassan Reddick. Like it's crazy, man. Like the amount of people that they have to throw at Patrick Mahomes. But like I said, Patrick Mahomes is like the one quarterback that I don't really care, dude. I don't really care. And I would almost say Joe Burrow's the same because, he gets rid of the ball so fast and he knows what he's doing. Maybe Patrick Mahomes and Joe Burrow are the only 2 quarterbacks I don't care about, man, dude. So, like, I could see Patrick Mahomes putting up 30 points and then, the Eagles having to put up 28 or 31 or something like that. So, I think it's going to be over. Like, I would think that you'll make money on the over.
Yeah, I agree.
Then, also, let's go over the weather, Jason. I want to tell people it's going to be 78 degrees, dude, on Sunday. Isn't that crazy, Jason? 70. Dude, I'm in Bakersfield right now. It was 78 degrees here. I almost died, man. I thought I was going to die.
Yeah, it's like when it was 48 degrees when I got off work, and I was just like, I was still like, I got to boost this heater up, man. I was like, oh my gosh, it's still so cold here.
But for people traveling, I mean, this is indoor game. Jason, dude, please explain that this is actual real grass that they're playing on.
Yeah. So, the Cardinals stadium, their grass is like on tracks, and what they do is like they keep it outside they water it, and they actually get fresh sunshine to like help it grow and water and all that stuff. And then like a couple hours before the game starts, they actually roll the whole field back into the stadium, and then then they go on and play whenever they're supposed to play. So yeah, that grass is actually it's full grown. What's a grass? What's some fertilizer brand?
This is some organic grass, bro.
Organic grass meant from the sun and the water, the H2O of Arizona.
Yeah, dude. So it's good, I think, because all these people have been dealing with injuries, Shaheed, whatever. Shout out to the Cardinals for having an indoor stadium with actual grass, man. Like, if you listen to actual NFL players, that's like the number one thing, dude. Get rid of the turf. And then also, the last thing I'm going to say, the next day is a Monday, and it's going to be 58 degrees. So it's going from 78 to 58, and it says there's going to only be like 13-mile-an-hour winds. I bet you it's going to be crazy down there. So the old weather's only going to is only going to matter for the traveling people. So your car's going to be blowing around on Monday, dude, if you're driving back. But again, Jason just pointed out this is on real grass, indoor stadium. Look out for Patrick Mahomes to light this SH up, dude.
Mm-hmm. You guys can also YouTube the whole thing of like the grass being brought into the stadium is actually pretty crazy. It takes a long time, but yeah. So I mean that just adds to Patrick Mahomes' arsenal. But the Philadelphia Eagles, they play outside too. They're used to grass. So, and I
think it's good for everybody, but yeah.
What I heard today is that there's no injury reports on either side of the ball. So we are getting a healthy teams playing against each other. Except
that was like a huge thing, dude, on Reddit. Was the number one thing. It's like the number one thing was the Chiefs are not reporting any injuries.
Yeah, but isn't like McCole Hardman, isn't he's done though, right?
He's on IR, and it's so funny, man, because he was like supposed to be coming back. Like, dude, he said he was coming back so long ago. The a-hole. No. Like, even after this, like, I was like, you should pick him up. He was on my waiver show like in the last half of the season because I was like, dude, you could probably start Hardman in the fantasy football playoffs, but
yeah,
he never came back.
No, he came back like last game.
Did he really?
Yeah, he played. He was there for like 2 snaps, and then they put him back on IR.
Oh my god, dude! Well, that makes me feel better about it because I was like, dude, this guy was like lying to me the whole time.
Dude, I picked this guy up in our fantasy football league, and I put him on the IR waiting list. Like, here we go. All right, I want to have this guy because at that time he was putting like a touchdown a game. But
yeah, he had like 4 touchdowns in a row or something like that.
And that was it. Bye, McCole Hardman. Get going. No one likes you, bro. Go to Miami. Go to Miami when they need another wide receiver. I don't know.
Seats taken.
Somebody at work said that today.
Did they really?
Yeah. And I was like, oh my gosh, you have no idea about that comment. Seats taken. And he's like, yeah, man, like Forrest Gump, man. I'm like, yeah, I get it. But Tyler Ward says it a lot.
Oh, God.
Funnier.
Dude, it's so crazy. Look at these guys like winning streaks. The Eagles are in such a crazy winning streak. It's insane, dude.
Yeah. So, Tyler, are you good? Because I think
no, we're good because we have 1 minute left. Let's go over our predictions here in a minute.
Okay, so let me stop this. We'll come back, and the next episode or video would be predictions. Lower expectations.
Okay. We are back from the abyss to come back with this to tell you with 2 closed fists that I am not a good rapper. Obviously.
I like that you said we had to come back to this. We would have been back quicker, but I had to piss. But this is something that I don't want to miss. So even though you hate the show, please don't diss. Oh,
that's good, Jason. That's very good.
That's the beer talk, or the Kamocha talk.
Michael Irvin would have been proud of you. Did you hear about Michael Irvin?
No, but I saw that him and Stephen A. Smith have been doing like a Pinky skit from like Friday 2. It's kind of hilarious.
Well, I was Well, Pinky off of Friday too. Is Pinky the record store owner?
Yeah, where he gets mad and like he's just like, "Hey man, I'm just trying."
That's right. I forgot. Oh, and then like that girl, his ex-girlfriend has a sister that's like beats him up. That's
Yeah,
right.
like chases him around the parking lot.
And she likes Craig.
Craig, hook me up with your friend Craig.
Yeah. So, man, I know you're breathing hard. I know you want something to eat. No, but dude, I just read this thing about Michael Irvin. He got pulled off of the NFL Network coverage. Did you see that?
No, because of his album.
So it was it's his like a woman at the Marriott Hotel is accusing him of like grabbing him or something like that. And the eyewitness accounts right now, there was just some dudes and they're like, oh yeah, he went over there, shook her hand, it lasted 30 seconds and then left. And he's suing her now for like $100 million or something like that. So I mean, it's a big deal for Michael Irvin not to be there with, Rich Eisen and everybody else. Steve Mariucci.
Yeah, Brett Favre is also doing out like 3 lawsuits, and I think one of them is to Pat McAfee.
Dude, Brett Favre is a POS, dude. The guy is such a POS. Like he like welfare, the state welfare fund to pay for his daughter's volleyball stadium.
Allegedly.
And he texted about it like an idiot.
We'll see what happens.
Dude, CTE, dude, just blame CTE, I guess. I'm never going to buy Coppertone or Wranglers, you DB.
Yeah.
Anyways, Brett Favre didn't even win a Super Bowl for the Vikings. Go build another stadium for some volleyball player with some welfare people's money, dude.
I need money. Allegedly.
All right, Jason. So let's start off with the easy stuff. Who do you think's going to win this game?
Eagles.
I'm going Chiefs.
Right. And, you could go either way with this, but if you want to be right, you go with the Eagles. No, I'm just kidding. So, these are very both high-power offenses. So I'm just going whoever has the better defense, and I believe the Eagles have the better defense. So that's why I'm saying the Eagles.
If Jalen Hurts was 100% healthy, I probably would side with that. But, man, I just like, dude, Patrick Mahomes versus the injured Jalen Hurts. I don't almost care, dude. And it's just so crazy that he beat the 49 or that he beat the the Bengals with no wide receivers, So I don't know. Even if you take his wide receivers out, he still does well. It's just ridiculous. I think that Travis Kelce would have to get IR'd on the team, get carried out on a stretcher for Patrick Mahomes to not do well.
Yeah.
Hey, Jason, tickets to the Super Bowl as low as $3,457.
What? I don't even know what that means. Are you selling me a ticket to the Super Bowl?
It's funny. No, I was just looking at the the win streaks, the records or whatever, and it says Super Bowl, and it says tickets as low as $3,400. It's like, oh my god, dude, it's so crazy.
I was like, did YouTube just offer us tickets to the Super Bowl for being great at what we do?
So, which team do you want to go over first, Jason?
I mean, let's just go over position first. Like, let's do Chiefs and then Eagles, but let's go over positions. And obviously, the number one position that everyone, debating over right now is the quarterback.
Yeah, and so do you think there's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game? Like, I think it's gonna be, we both agree it's gonna hit the over. I think it's gonna be like 28 to like 30 or something like that.
I think it's gonna be like 28-31, 35-31 in that range.
And I also read an article about statistics and like I forget how it goes with, you could pick two numbers for those office pools. I think it was like 0 and 4 were the two most common numbers. So if you're playing those, just do 0 and 4. But like 34 to 30 or something. I have no idea. But I do think it's going to hit the over. I think it's going to be very close. I think it's going to be closer than 3 points. So Jason, what do you think Jalen Hurts going to do?
Let's do Chiefs first.
All right. What do you think? What do you think Patrick Mahomes is going to do?
Okay, so Patrick Mahomes, he averages around 308 yards a game. And I've said it multiple times. There's not a lot of quarterbacks who could throw the ball for 300 yards this year. It just wasn't happening. It just wasn't happening. It was only two people I could really think that have it happen quite often more than other teams was Patrick Mahomes and Kirk Cousins. All right, so Patrick Mahomes averages 300 yards a game. He averages 38 pass attempts a game. Surprisingly, Tyler, that's not even number one. And he averages 2.4 passing touchdowns a game. So with that being said, the Eagles, they're number 9 with averaging 37 or 31 attempts against them per game. So that's 7 attempts lower. They're 9th in completions with 19.8 a game. And they're 6th with only giving up 1.2 touchdowns a game. But this is Patrick Mahomes. This is the MVP of the 2022 season. I am predicting that he gets 320 yards, 325 yards, 3 touchdowns, and 1 interception.
All right, Jason. I mean, I would agree with, almost all of that. So what he only had 195 yards against the, Jacksonville Jaguars, but that was just kind of a weird game. He had, 326 versus Cincinnati, and the last time he came off of a broken ankle or ankle sprain, he had 400 and something. So I thought he was actually going to do pretty well. I think that 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to get 2 touchdowns. I think he's going to get 3 touchdowns. He's going to get 3 touchdowns. What you said, I have to agree with that. Just because I think it's going to be a higher scoring game. Even if, Pacheco gets a rushing touchdown or whatever, I still think that's 21 points for Patrick Mahomes right there. And then let's see, dude, 300. I think that he will get just over 300 yards this game because Darius Slay is very good. The problem is that their they don't have really good coverage linebackers, and Kelsey is going to eat him alive, but that's not a lot of deep yards. So let's just say I'm going to say 300 yards, 3 touchdowns for Patrick Mahomes.
Any turnovers?
No mistakes from Patrick Mahomes.
All right. I'm putting down 315.
I put 300, dog.
I know, but you said above 300. You said
I know. I'm gonna just put 300. Just put 300.
Do you want me to put 301?
Put 301.
All right, 300, 3 touchdowns, no interception. So basically, we're kind of thinking the same thing with Patrick Mahomes.
I think it's gonna be high efficiency. You have him for more yards and a turnover. I think that's probably the safer bet. But Patrick Mahomes in the Super Bowl. I should go back and research this. So how many turnovers does Patrick Mahomes have in the Super Bowl?
It's actually got more than you think. Okay, so you want to do the Jalen Hurts now?
Yeah.
All right, Jalen Hurts. He's he averages 30.8 passing attempts a game. He averages 1.4 passing touchdowns a game. He has 3,701 passing yards this year, and he has 760 rushing yards, 13 rushing touchdowns this year. Right? The Chiefs are 32nd and 1.8 passing touchdowns allowed a game. They are the 30th and 36, and they have 36.8 passing attempts allowed against them. And they're 19th with 221 passing yards allowed. So with that being said, I am putting that Jalen Hurts has 250 yards, 4 total touchdowns, and he has no interceptions.
Okay. Sorry, Jason. I just kind of went crazy. So when you said Patrick Mahomes has a lot of interceptions, dude, he had 2 interceptions versus only 200 yards, but they only scored 10 points that game versus the Bucs are 9 points that game. So I don't see that happening. He still got his yards, like you said, but
he also had, I'm sorry to interrupt, but he also
I don't care.
The game the year that he beat the 49ers, he also had an interception thrown too.
But now we're going. I just want to say this. This is a stat for Patrick Mahomes as a passer rating of his whole playoff career. He's got 32 touchdowns with 7 interceptions in 13 games. I think that this is going to be one of the games with no interceptions. So that makes me even more confident in what I'm saying. I'm going to say no interceptions for Patrick Mahomes. If it does, it's going to be off of like a tip ball, or he's going to get sacked when he's throwing it.
It don't matter.
It counts. It counts. I'm just giving a disclaimer, dude, so I can be right no matter what. Okay.
Okay. So what about Jalen Hurts? I got 250, 4 total touchdowns, no turnovers.
I think he's going to throw only. I think he's only going to throw for like. How many yards did you say? 200 and what?
250. He's going to throw.
I'm going to say, dude, I'm going to say 200.
Okay. I don't have his rushing down, but I do believe he's going to have a rushing touchdown.
Oh, I think he's going to get like. Dude, I think he's going to get like 60 or 70. I think he's going to get like 60 yards rushing with a touchdown. Like that. I'm pretty confident in that they're going to run the hell out of him. And here, dude, I mean, Jalen Hurts playoff stats, right? 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions in 3 games. Only, 533 yards, but we saw the teams that he's been playing, it's been nothing. So he played one playoff game last year. He's got 2 playoffs games this year.
Well, if you also think about it, you're throwing out those stats. The Chiefs have the worst passing secondary in the league. 32, 29, 30, 19. Those are rankings on touchdowns allowed, completions allowed, passing attempts allowed, passing yards allowed.
Okay. So
how many touchdowns do you think he's going to throw?
I think he's going to throw for 2 and run for 1.
Okay.
200 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 rush, 60 yards rushing, and a touchdown.
Any turnovers?
One interception.
Dead air. Okay.
Sorry, I was like, dead air.
Okay. We got that down. All right, so let's go into like the tight ends. The reason why I say I want to do tight ends right now is because Chiefs don't have a lot of wide receivers to talk about because Chiefs. So I got Travis Kelce here. I think Travis Kelce is going to have a big game. This year he had 1,338 passing yards, 12 touchdowns on 110 receptions. He had a big year, a big year.
Yeah.
And then, so with the secondary, I'm glad that you said what you did earlier, Tyler. With the secondary being as good as it is for the Eagles, their weak spots, linebackers, that's where Travis Kelce is going to exploit. I bet this dude's going to get 11 receptions, 150 yards, and 2 touchdowns.
That's bold. Yeah, dude. And I'm just looking at like his playoff stats for the last 4 years. He had 3 touchdowns. He's got 3 touchdowns this year, 3 touchdowns last year, 3 touchdowns the year before, 4 touchdowns the year before. So, dude, he's been killing it with Patrick Mahomes.
Always.
Yeah, and so he's got like 1,500 yards and 15 touchdowns in 17 career games in the playoffs. So the safe bet would be like 100 yards and a touchdown. But with this year, dude, if they need to win, they're gonna have to feed Travis Kelce, like you said. I'm gonna go 9 for 115 and 1 touchdown. Because I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to actually spread the ball around quite a bit, even though he doesn't really have any wide receivers. I think that the Eagles' mission is to sack Patrick Mahomes and try to stop Kelce, but they don't have the personnel to stop Kelce, like you said.
Right.
And
okay.
Dallas Go Dirty.
Dallas Go Dirty. This guy, he had an injury plague season. He's only had 702 yards on 3 touchdowns. He's got 55 receptions this year. He is a favorite target for Jalen Hurts. He scored a touchdown last game. I'm going to go 6 receptions, 70 yards, and 1 touchdown.
So he's averaging what, 5 receptions and 40 yards and half a touchdown per game. But you saw who the Philadelphia Eagles have been playing. They're going to need to score points. I like 7 for 80 and a touchdown.
Okay, so you got a couple more.
6 for 80 and a touchdown. Put that to 6.
6? Okay, so
yeah, because there's not a big enough piece. There's not a big enough piece of the pie for 7. 6 is ambitious.
We have the same amount of receptions, but you got 10 yards, and we still have them with a touchdown.
Never mind then. I'm gonna say
what? No. What are you doing?
I know. I don't want to be the same as you, but you know what? It should give people more confidence if we're the same. So go for it.
Let's go for it.
No, we'll keep the same.
Oh, okay. I was like,
because I was just thinking, like, dude, it's going to be hard because I don't think Jalen Hurts is going to throw the ball a ton. And to say that Dallas Goedert's going to get the 7 receptions, I almost want to say that's too much, but it's okay.
Super Bowls are tough. It's like a bye week, coming off a bye week. You got 2 weeks to prepare. I always see defensive teams usually prevail. So I don't know. Maybe Andy Reid's like, we got to stop that run. I mean, I would do that. I think the number one concern, if I was Andy Reid's, we got to stop that run. We got to make them throw the ball.
All right, Jason. So we're going through predictions. I'm interested to see, like, what wide receiver you're predicting for the Chiefs to get the majority of the work.
So this is pretty much tough, just because wide receiver, right? But I also put Patrick Mahomes to get 3 touchdowns. I said 2 of them are going to go to Travis Kelce. So, barring any injury that this
there's no D.
Barring any injury that this guy is, a magnet for, gotta drink some more milk or something. Kadarius Toney, I got him down, for this year, because he's been so injury prone. He's got 171 yards, 16 receptions, and 2 touchdowns. God, that's a pathetic stat line that we're just like having to get for the Chiefs. So, but with that, he's healthy. They've said that like nobody on the Chiefs or the Eagles really have a injury report designation.
Designated survivor, Jason.
Right.
That's that TV show that I never watched.
If I remember, like the first season was actually pretty good. But I got him down for 5 receptions, 50 yards, and 1 touchdown. He's going to be the other touchdown guy.
So he had 5 receptions on 7 targets versus Jacksonville. So, and then I don't know if I can't remember if he re-aggravated an injury last week or, last game or what. But I'm a huge believer in Toney next season. But here, I think, dude, I'm going to go for like 3 for 35 and no touchdowns.
Okay. There's a great chance that is really the more realistic stat line, just because, even in the game beforehand, he had a touchdown that he dropped, blah, they're looking for him. But this guy gets like 6 targets, and this guy's hurt.
Yeah.
He's walking to the locker room after that. He's like, Coach, take me out. Put in Sky Moore, number 24. That always makes me think he's a cornerback. But this is his career. This is Toney. This is what he's been doing ever since he got in the league.
Yeah, as much as I believe in Mahomes, getting 300 yards and a couple touchdowns, yeah, I don't think that Kelsey's going to contribute. I don't think that Toney's going to contribute to much of that.
Okay. So with that being said, Let's go to the other side right now. I mean, if you really want to talk about it, I got MVS. I don't think he's going to have the same game as he did last week against the Bengals. I see him getting like only 3 receptions, 65 yards, no touchdown.
My first thought was 4 for 80. Was my first thought because it's they didn't have to do much against Jacksonville because they were up a lot. So he was, but dude, we went over MVS's stats last week. He didn't do anything until last week, but that was such a tough game, and he relied on MVS. I think that this is going to be a very similar game. So I could see. I don't think he's going to get a touchdown and over 100 yards, but I do think that he could get 80 yards. You know what, dude? I want to say 80 yards and a touchdown because I got to give the touchdown to somebody.
Oh, I really wish I didn't do this in ink.
4 for 80 and a touchdown, Jason. Make it so. Make it so, number 1.
Let's see if I can get.
Oh no, number 2.
Number 2.
I'm number 1.
Yeah, don't tell me what to do, punk. You're a peon. Go fly the ship.
Go swab the go decontaminate the what do they call it? When they beam each other all over the place? The deck, the hollow deck.
The hollow deck. No, the
hollow deck is where they all have their adventures in the 1900s.
Yeah. Okay, so with that being said, for Juju, I put he's coming back from injury. I put 4 receptions, 55 yards, no touchdowns.
Yeah. So I mean, I like him to get maybe some stuff, but like, dude, he has been so inconsistent all year, just like every other one. But dude, targets, 1 target last game, 2 targets the game before, 2 targets game before, 3 targets, 4 targets. I think he's going to probably go 2 for 35. No. It's going to be short. It's going to go 2 for 25.
2 for 25. Is that what you said?
Yeah. Sad.
It is what it is, right? You can see Patrick Mahomes doesn't really have any trust except in Travis Kelce. Okay, so the wide receivers aside, now we go to the Eagles, the Philadelphia Eagles. We're going to check out their wide receivers.
1 second. I do want to say that Sky Moore did have 7 targets last game. So that is interesting. That's all I want to say.
That is interesting. With Juju and Tony both out, he got the targets.
Exactly. So I don't think that's going to continue, but I could see maybe him doing something in this game. I'm not going to bet on it, but it wouldn't surprise me terribly.
There is a good chance Tony might get injured and miss out on 3 quarters. So
right. Sorry about that.
No, that's good. That's how it is. These players get hurt. Sky Moore comes in. Where I am predicting that Tony could finally finish a game and not get hurt, but chances are he's probably going to get hurt and miss 3 quarters, and Sky Moore is going to have to come in, and Juju is going to get a concussion, and then Watson's going to have to come in. Yeah, these are all likelihoods of what's going to happen. Okay, for the Eagles,
AJ Brown.
This guy's had 1,400 yards, 1,496 yards on 88 receptions and 11 touchdowns this year. So
yeah,
this guy he gets them deep. Gets them deep. I am thinking he's going to get 7 receptions, 110 yards, and 1 touchdown.
All right. Well, that would be his best game after the last, just 4 looking at it. He's only had 4 receptions for 28 yards versus San Francisco, 3 receptions for 22 yards versus the Giants. And in that, he just went 4 for 95 against the Giants the week before that. He was killing it up until that point. As soon as the playoffs started, he's regressed a lot, 22 yards, 28 yards. I think that he's going to get, I mean, dude, I think that Patrick Mahomes is going to force, because they haven't been forced to score points. I mean, 38-7, 31-7 last 2 games. So he's been a non-factor. I think that you're right. I think he's going to get 9 to 11 targets. Let's just say 10 targets. Let's say 7 receptions for 90 yards and a touchdown.
Okay. How
That's
many
really
targets?
short receptions. I probably shouldn't do that. I should probably do like 5 or 6, but I could see him like just getting tackled immediately a lot.
How many targets did he get last game against the Niners?
8 targets, dude.
He got 8 targets, which
He had
probably
6 and then 10 and then 9 and then 8. So the least targets amount he's had is 6.
you didn't need him against those damn Giants. They ran the ball against those Giants. Didn't need him.
Yeah, no, you're right. It's just I'm just kind of afraid of, like I said, injured Jalen Hurts, man, and the playoffs is just kind of scaring me.
I'm also hoping with these 2 weeks off that Jalen Hurts is going to be a little bit recovered. But
he could dominate this game. Like there's a chance that AJ Brown goes nuclear, but I'm just betting against it.
Yeah. Also, what I'm thinking is that he still got the 8 targets last game, but what's that guy? Kadarius Ward for
Yeah. Oh yeah.
for the Niners was covering him most of the time, and he's a pretty tough matchup. Um,
Oh right. Yeah.
I don't think anybody in the Kansas City secondary is a tough matchup anymore. So I feel like he's going to have more completions this game, and I feel like this is the game for AJ Brown. I'm also hoping it's the game for him because I need him to beat you.
Yeah.
What? But we'll see. So I put him down for you 7 receptions, 90 yards, and 1 touchdown. So we both agree that he's going to get a touchdown at least.
Yeah, and then Devontae Smith, Jason's been killing it.
Right. And since you said that, I put Devontae Smith, 1,100 yards, 96 or 1,196 yards this year on 95 targets or receptions. So he had 7 more receptions than AJ Brown. Only 7 touchdowns. I think this is going to be the game where it's going to feature more of AJ Brown than it is Devonta Smith. So I think Devonta Smith is going to get 5 receptions, 70 yards, but no touchdown.
See, I'm going the opposite here, Jason. I think that and dude, Devontae Smith, 12 targets, 13, 8, 10. He's been the most targeted wide receiver on this team, except for the San Francisco 49ers when they went against them. But dude, we all know that was a crap game. I am thinking 9 receptions for 100 yards and a touchdown.
Okay.
It's probably going to be more than 100. Let's say, I'll just say that.
Okay, 9, 100, and 1 touchdown.
I think he's gonna get like 12 or 13 targets.
Okay.
Because the last time they went against good teams that were actually scoring points, like Dallas, 12 targets, 2 touchdowns, 113 yards. I think it's going to be more. I think that Devontae Smith is going to be the more effective player than AJ Brown. I don't think that his odds of going nuclear as high as AJ Brown, but I do think that he's going to be better.
And I'm thinking more of the opposite because, these last games where AJ Brown has had to deal with a number 1 cornerback for the defense, I'm not afraid of the Chiefs cornerbacks, especially with these stats that I'm seeing that they're at the bottom of the league when it comes to passing. And obviously, I would rather throw the ball to AJ Brown than a Devontae Smith, but that was my thought process going into it. We'll see. We'll see what happens.
I think a lot of it depends on if Chris Jones can get pressure up the middle.
Dude, Chris Jones. Oh, he's one of my new favorite. One of my favorite linemen.
He's cool. I like him. I like him.
He's cool. He plays back. Okay, so now we got 8 minutes left. We're going into the running back situations here. Let's see with the Chiefs. I got Isaiah Pacheco, who's only had 830 yards this year on 5 touchdowns. He's had 130 yards receiving on 13 receptions, no touchdowns. With that being said, it took him a while before he took that starting role because Edwards got hurt. The Chiefs are 25th in the league on running back attempts at 24.6 attempts per game. With that being said, I mean, what I'm seeing with the Eagles give up 4.6 yards per attempt. I'd like Pacheco just because he is a powerful runner. He's young, he's quick. He likes to do. He's he could be the first one tackled, but he's the first one up every game. 4.6 is a lot of yards per carry. I'm going to give him 90 rushing yards this game.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I mean, look what happened last time when the Chiefs were playing one against the San Francisco 49ers. Like I said, Darren Williams had a great game against the number one defense in that Super Bowl. So I'm just, going off of Andy Reid and seeing what he needs to do. Andy Reid is great off of buys. But 90 rushing yards, 0 touchdowns. I'll give him one reception for about 10 yards.
Did you see he got 5 receptions last game, Jason?
Yeah.
So that was the one time where they actually featured him in the receiving game, and he did so well. You saw him toe tip the line or whatever. I do think, dude, he's got 14 attempts, 9, 8, 12, 10. He's only had one game over 60 yards almost. I think in the defensive line for the Eagles is the type of line that just turns it up. Dude, they're veterans, man. It's 7 old dudes. I could see them stopping the run on the way to the quarterback this game. I'm gonna say, I know this is probably crazy, dude, but I'm gonna say 9 for 25 and no touchdowns.
And the receptions?
I'm going to say 3 receptions for 25 yards.
That is a more realistic stat line than the one I gave, to be honest. This is kind of one of those bold ones where I'm just everybody's been really afraid of it. I'm just you know what? If this is a close game, I know the Chiefs like to run the ball. But if Pacheco's in, the average yards per attempt, I could work for him. He's a quick guy.
Yeah, I can really see the Eagles' defensive line just being insane, dude. I think that Patrick Mahomes can overcome it. I don't think that Isaiah Pacheco can, as much as I like Pacheco. Dang, dude. And what else was I just going to tell you? Oh, do you care about Jerick McKinnon at all?
Okay, so that was the next one. Jerick McKinnon, on the year, he has 291 rushing yards on 1 touchdown, but he's had 512 yards on 56 receptions. He's got 9 touchdowns on those receptions. But this guy has cold. He's cold now. This guy is a Subway cold cut trio, dude. Nobody even wants this dude. He is out. He's not even on the menu anymore. So I put him down as he's doing it 31 rushing yards. I'm just expecting one big run for 0 touchdowns, and then 3 receptions for 30 yards on 0 touchdowns.
Yeah, I think he could be an X factor this game, where they just they kind of give up and just oh, we'll just put McKinnon out there, start throwing to him. But I'm going to err on the side of him not being too involved. So 3 rushes for 5 yards and 2 receptions for maybe 15.
Yeah, there's a chance that this is the game that he'll get back and score a touchdown again. But
I'm just not betting his opportunities, dude. You watch those games, it's not like he has a ton of opportunities. So you just have to go with the odds, I think.
Yeah, I think that was perfectly said. In the last 2 games, he's just not the Jerick McKinnon that we won the fantasy championship with, right? This guy, I mean, they're going elsewhere. They're not even thinking about him anymore. So you're just kind of going off of stats. But he still has a potential to score a touchdown. But I'd rather bet against him scoring a touchdown than him actually scoring one. So,
all right, Mr. Jason, Miles Sanders, what do you think?
Miles Sanders, right? Eagles are number 1 in the league, averaging 33 attempts per game. And so the Eagles' run defense, they are number 3 in attempts against them. They only average 23.9 attempts against them. But they do average 4.5 yards per carry allowed against them, but less than there's 0.6 rushing touchdowns allowed each game. So you're not really scoring rushing touchdowns against this game, against the Chiefs. So Miles Sanders, 1,269 yards, 11 touchdowns this year. He also has 68 yards on 20 receptions, 0 touchdowns. I am saying that Miles Sanders, 95 yards, doesn't break 100, 95 yards, 1 touchdown, but he gets no receptions. He gets no receptions in this game, but he does get that touchdown. And that's because the Eagles like to do nothing but run the ball in the 10-yard line to the goal line. They like the rushing touchdown. Doesn't matter if it's, was it Kenneth Gainwell, Byron Scott, Boston Scott, whatever his name is, and Miles Sanders, Jalen Hurts. So,
I'm just thinking, yeah. Okay, continue. Sorry.
I was going to say, with that being said, 96-1 or 95-1.
I think that's very, very good. But looking, receiving, he's had 2 receptions in the last 6 games. So just bet on no receptions. I mean, who cares about receptions for him? If he gets anything, it'll be for under 10 yards. And then, so yeah, dude, he only had 11 for 42 against San Francisco, but he did score those 2 touchdowns. I like looking at the Dallas line, 21 for 65. I think that how many carries did you say he's going to get, Jason?
I didn't even actually do carries. So he's getting 95. I'm going to say he's going to get around 15 carries.
Yeah, I was thinking he's going to get anywhere from 15 to 20 carries. He's going to get, I'll just say 80. I'm going to say 80 yards and a touchdown, Jason.
All right, so we got the touchdown there.
Yeah, because you know what? And I'm going to say, what did I say? Did I say anything about attempts?
No, you didn't. You said 15 to 20 attempts.
Yeah, I think it's more on the 15 because they're going to run, 3 dudes at this. They what's his name did really well last game. Kenneth Gainwell and Boston Scott, dude. Let's just say 15.
So I think Jalen Hurts' third touchdown is going to come to a random dude who's not going to be, not going to be anybody who's going to make much of an impact in this game, but they'll get that 1 touchdown. It could be one of the 2 other running backs. But we have less than a minute, Tyler.
Oh, crap.
Those were our predictions. That was pretty fun to do. But with this being said, we got Sunday coming up with the Super Bowl. And then Monday, we're going to do the kind of Super Bowl breakdown or Super Bowl wrap up. You got anything else you would like to say?